Another brick fan with the 2022 LEGO Advent Calendars. This is day 22. Let's start with a quick recap of yesterday. We got Luke Skywalker in his Hoth gear, so his cold weather gear here. We have the spinner, which is part of the game in the Harry Potter Advent Calendar, and a Hedwig. From Guardians of the Galaxy, we got this little sled or sleigh or vehicle of some kind. And then from City, we got this festively decorated light post. Let's go ahead and do our day 22 builds. Here we have our Star Wars Advent Calendar, day 22, right here, kind of in the middle. And we have a Hoth scene, perhaps the cave where Luke was held by the Yeti. And there is the cave, and like I said, you could put Luke Skywalker in here. There's a spot where you can hang him upside down. I like that. So a good complementary piece to yesterday's figure. Let's move on to our next Advent Calendar. This is the Harry Potter Advent Calendar, day 22, kind of right here in the middle. And it looks like kind of a building perhaps, or an indoor scene. Let's get it built and take a closer look. Okay, taking a closer look, this I believe is supposed to represent Gringotts Bank. You can see the big columns here. And then this, I believe, is the dragon as it broke out of Gringotts. Actually, the dragon looks pretty good now that I take a look at it. Wasn't quite sure when I saw it in the picture, but looking closer, there's definitely a dragon. So this is Gringotts Bank. Let's go ahead and move on to our next Advent Calendar. This is the Guardians of the Galaxy Advent Calendar. Let's take a look at day 22 right here. And it looks like, I don't know, a couple of maybe rocket skis or rocket sleds maybe? A pair of them. So there are two, maybe little rocket sleds. Or perhaps they go with our little sleigh. Let's move on to our next Advent Calendar. Here's our City Advent Calendar, day 22, right here in the third row. And it looks like we have a horse and maybe a pile of hay. So here's our horse and his present of a pile of hay. I like how they use the textured bricks for that. Very nice horse mold. I like the extra coloring they did with the yellow tail and mane. Let's go ahead and recap today's builds. Here we have the day 22 builds. Starting with Star Wars, we have this little kind of representation of that cave from Hoth where Luke was captured. And as you can see, there's a little spot here where you can actually take Luke and hang him in there. So like he's trapped in that snow cave. You can see there's a little bone down here and some piles of snow down there. So that's kind of a nice one. So we ended up with, I think, 5 different builds from Hoth, or 5 different figures that could be considered, maybe even 6 different Hoth themed Advent Calendar builds. Moving on to Harry Potter, we got Gringotts Bank with a dragon here on top. I think that dragon turned out really nice in this micro scale. I really like the way that looks. Gringotts is not super recognizable. You don't have kind of all the angles and stuff, but at this micro scale, I guess that makes a lot of sense. From Guardians, we got these little rocket pods, which I believe go with the little sleigh that we got the day before. So I think you can attach those onto the sleigh, for example, like this. And now we have a much more complete sleigh. So the rocket pods, so that the last 2 days basically go together for Guardians of the Galaxy. And then finally, from City, we end up with this little horse, which is a nice mold. I like the yellow for the mane and the tail. And then it looks like a pile of hay, which is done with these textured bricks. And then it has a little star on top, like it's a gift for the horse. So nice builds for day 22. Come back tomorrow, we'll do day 23. And until then, happy building. Thanks for watching this Advent Calendar Daily Build. If you missed a day, feel free to go back. I've left a link to my 2022 Advent Calendar reviews up here on the screen.